everyone. By way of introduction, let me introduce myself. My name is Dave Smart. I am the director of the Exchange Center inside of CONNEX Marketplace. And what that basically means is I oversee inside of CONNEX, we have a tab which is called the Exchange Center. And that's where companies can go in and post needs or surplus, but they can post RFIs, RFQs, RFPs, and then get that information out to all the subscribers inside of CONNEX, and then let them know that they have a need, and then people can respond back directly. So I oversee that whole process. In general, just to let you know, our goal for anybody who posts inside of there is to help them find, a minimum of 2 to 3 new qualified suppliers for that need, and help them make the connection. If you're new to CONNEX, welcome. CONNEX is a platform that was designed by manufacturers for manufacturers, and our whole goal is to connect manufacturers. And that's really the way we help define success here at CONNEX. Is in helping you make those connections. We can't go in and close the deal for you or help you get the business that way, but we can help you step up to the plate and take more swings at more opportunities and make those connections with companies that you didn't have those relationships before. And so I do have some success stories, some things that I want to share with you about successes, but I want to tell you, or I'd like to start off and just let you guys know that CONNEX can be used for anything, any supply chain need you have. We've had companies get on the site looking for champagne bottles, camera lenses, seat belts, circuit boards, ammunition, water purification systems, humidifiers, dental wax. I tell people, yes, send us all your tricky, parts and things that you're having struggles finding, but also use it for everything, the everyday stuff, pallets and boxes. And there's a couple ways that people find success in CONNEX. One is they post their own opportunities. They go in, they create an RFI or an RFQ or RFP, and they post what they need. Then there's others that will get in and use it as a sales tool, in which they will actually do searches and look for companies who could use their product. Matter of fact, we had a company, I worked with the sales director, and he had, I don't know, somewhere around 7 to 10 sales reps across the country. It was the country was divided into sections. And so we were able to give them all access, and they were able to go in and do searches in their different states and in their regions, and go and look up companies that could use their products. I think they were, if I remember right, they made casters. And so now these salespeople had another tool to use to go after and find companies that they had never they had never found or had never known about before. And so had some great successes that way. We have companies that use CONNEX for a variety of different reasons. Obviously, for new sales, but we've also had companies that have had to get on, and they were desperate because of we had a company that lost 2 suppliers to one of the hurricanes many years ago, or one just recently had needed to find a nickel plating company because their supplier of 20 years had a major fire. And so as you look at CONNEX, there are many different ways that you can have success on the platform. But I tell people all the time that CONNEX is kind of like a gym membership. It only works if you get on and use it. And so let me go through some foundational ways that help you achieve the success that you would want. So when you register for CONNEX, one of the things you will find is once your company is registered, you will be prompted and asked to fill out your company profile. And what makes this so important is that anytime somebody gets in CONNEX and does a search or look up an item that they need help with, we use the profile pages and the keywords and the key indicators. And as you get in, those of you that have used it, there's 10 different categories in which you can put in opportunities, or not opportunities, capabilities, your products, your equipment, and all of that becomes searchable. We have had companies in the time that I have been here actually connect through equipment. They did a search for a particular piece of equipment. A company had put that in their profile. They made 2 totally different products. But the one company reached out and said, listen, if you have any downtime, could you switch over your machinery and make our product? Anyway, a connection was made there, and it was only possible because the company had filled out their profile completely. And so that is one way we help keep our data current and fresh, is companies know that the more complete that is, the better they are at finding or being found, and companies learning about them and separating themselves from their competition. And I tell people all the time, it's great to put a little company history there that you've been in business for 70 years, but it's more important to make sure that all of those categories are filled out as completely as possible. A little redundancy helps. Matter of fact, that helps you to rise to the top of the searches. Another thing that's really important when you fill out your company's profile is a capability statement. It's something that can be downloaded. They can print it off and email it or share it with other people. But again, it's just another way of letting companies know exactly what you make and what your company does. The other thing that's important is certifications and SBA designations. If you have certifications that are required, or that you have and companies require it, make sure that that's on there, because that separates you from others. For example, we do a lot with Bell Helicopter and Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, and they all require certain certifications. So you got to make sure your certifications are up to date, current, and accurate, as well as SBA designations. If you're veteran owned or woman owned, make sure that those that information is put on your profile. Again, all of this is searchable. And then the last thing, just as you continue to fill out your profile, make sure that people can find you. If I am interested in reaching out to you, who would be the best one to reach out to? And I'm not saying you have to put everybody in the company on the profile, but have 3 or 4 different options when you do that. And then 2, another great way is if you upload pictures of the different products that you offer. So you do have the ability to upload images and videos, which just again rounds out your profile page that way.
Dave,
so,
can we introduce Mike so he can share his experience with the platform and his own success stories?
Yeah, thank you, Vernice. Mike, I'm sorry, I just got going there, but yes, please, will you introduce yourself and tell people about your getting to know CONNEX?
Sure. So I'm Mike Scotto. I'm the Vice President of Business Development at a company in Colchester, Connecticut. It's called Alpha Q Incorporated. We're primarily a manufacturing company working in the aerospace sector. for both military and commercial applications. So we had this opportunity to learn a little bit about what CONNEX does, and I looked into it and felt that it had some merit. So I went ahead and signed up for it. I also, as Dave had mentioned, built our profile. Take a lot of time doing that because it's really, really important. So people out there know who you are and what exactly you do. Some of our most recent success stories is we received a couple of RFIs companies looking for a particular type of manufacturing process or a size range of parts, and it came up on our radar. So right away I went in and made that connection with the potential customer, and it actually kickstarted further conversations that are taking place. If I hadn't had a profile in a lot of detail, I think we would have been overlooked, to be quite honest. So it's really important to do that. The other side of that is I also signed up my purchasing department. I have two folks that work in that area that are always looking for sources to do work for us, or looking to purchase items that go into some of the components we manufacture. So having said that, when they do a search for XYZ, if those keywords aren't picked up in the algorithms, then your company's going to get overlooked. So I think that's why it's really important that you really drill down and spend some time and put your capabilities and what you're approved for in your profiles. That's going to get you the most rate of return for sure. But yeah, so we use it from everything to looking for parts to buy, and partner with other companies that we could subcontract with. And we also look at ways that we can improve our business with new customers.
That's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. You bring up some points. Let me just elaborate a little bit on them. So when you register with CONNEX, there is no restriction or limit on how many people you can give access to. And so, Mike, just like you said, let's get anybody in your company that could benefit from CONNEX with just the one membership. You can invite them to participate. They'll get an email. You send the email invitation. They go through. They set up their own password. Everything doesn't have to come back through you. They can
Right.
get on and use it on their own.
Just in the 30 seconds of sitting here and talking about having other people added to the profile, a light bulb went off. I think engineers, your engineering community, I think would be also a big help to have access to it, because the engineers are on the front lines. They're looking at ways to improve processes and jobs, and maybe looking for the next greatest thing out there for a cutting tool or a machine or something, right? It would be a good tool for them to use as well, not just purchasing or sales.
Absolutely. And a lot of times they want to speak to their own kind, right?
Yeah,
Engineers
right.
want to speak to engineers, and everybody calls them, some engineers, sometimes the purchasing goes through them. So yes, please put on everybody. And then Mike is the owner, or anybody who signs up, you can assign the roles that you want to, right? So,
right.
You may not want to assign administrative roles where they can change the profile on everyone, but you want to give them the proper roles for their position and title.
Right.
On that. So yeah, that is extremely important. Yes, let them get in, let them use it, let them have access to it. That way. There was another point I wanted to bring up, and it just escaped me. So I'm going to move on, and hopefully that thought will come back. I want to tell you anyway. Let me tell you about a success story that hopefully drives all this home. I remember what I was going to say real quick. let me kind of go over a little bit about when somebody posts an RFI or an RFP or an RFQ in the system. Let me kind of tell you how that goes down. So they fill out all the information, right? There's a subject line, there's a description. Sometimes depending on the part or the company, sometimes, you know, the nature of it, they can't share a lot of information or pictures, but they do have them. Once, you know, a lot of times they have to vet the company a little bit to make sure that they can do business with them, especially like the Northrops of the world. But when they do a post, they have the ability, the company posting has the ability to send out a notification. And all they have to do is fill in the parameters of that notification. And so what they'll go in is there's 7 different parameters, but they'll pick a material, right? They're looking for things with, you know, companies that can do work with steel or aluminum, SIC codes, NICS codes. They can pick machine shops or anything that connects that way, processes, certifications. And so they fill out these criterias, and then they send out the notification. And so like in Mike's case, where they get an email, it's because they've been matched up with a company that just posted an opportunity inside of CONNEX. And so again, going back to Mike's point, that if your profile is not filled out, you may miss opportunities. So the more it's filled out, and anyway, the system then can connect you. And then you get an email that says, hey, there's an opportunity, please go take a look, and kind of directs you from there. And if it's a good fit, please respond to it. If it's not, hey, at least you know you're being found in the system, and more opportunities will come. So anyway, that just gives you a little bit of just another reason why it's so important to fill out your profile and to keep it up to date and current that way. I want to tell you about we have a lot of success stories, but one of our biggest one is with Northrop Grumman, and the work we've done with them. We had one of their divisions here in Utah connect with us and said, hey, they're looking for a certain piece of equipment, a VTL, vertical turning lathe. And they need as many companies as have one of these, because they build round things, right? Rockets and missiles and things. And so they needed these VTLs. And so for 9 months, we went out and found as many as we could, or companies that were interested in it. And so we, two of their buyers, it would give us an hour a week. And we had 2 30-minute interviews, and it was our job to go out and find these companies. And so each company got a 30-minute interview with 3 of the buyers, 2 or 3 of the buyers from Northrop Grumman, and could talk about the opportunities and their capabilities. And so it was great. And out of those, I think we had somewhere around 35 to 40 interviews. And then that whittled down to about 15 companies that were given the green light. And the part I like to bring up in this story, and I'm going to tell you about a specific company, is Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Bell Flight, you know, a lot of the military bases, they don't have front doors. You know, you just can't go up and knock on them and say, hey, here's what we offer, right? And in some cases, it takes years to get to the right person and knocking on those doors. And what I love about this success story is we were able to connect companies that hadn't ever had that opportunity and do it within a 9-month window. And for Northrop, it trimmed down the process even quicker for them and got people in and using the system. Another thing I want to tell folks too is when you see an opportunity like that and something comes through, I always encourage folks that, you know, if you look at it and you're like, hey, we can do 80% of what they're asking, right? Like maybe you're short on a certification, or maybe you're short on another little part of that. But if you think you can do 70-80% of what they're asking, I still say respond. And the reason I said that is they're throwing out this, here's the perfect candidate, right? They're throwing all of this out. And 2, yes, they would like it to be 100% perfect, but on but also if you respond, then they can decide for themselves if they want to take it any further. And I find in a lot of cases, they're like, yeah, this would be the perfect candidate, but we're still interested in some that can do up to this level. And let me tell you, so that leads.
Dave, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm
Yep.
going to put it back to Mike, and I'm going to have
Mhm.
him talk about his own little success story with Northrop Grumman and how
Excellent.
he got started.
Okay. Well, let's define success, right? So, Northrop Grumman was looking for a manufacturing company who had a particular capability for some machining, and our profile sparked their interest, and they reached out to us, and I looked at the requirement, and as Dave alluded to, we're not 100% there. We're probably like 80-90% of what our capabilities can do for them, but that was just enough for them to really get interested in learning more about our capabilities. So the success is making that contact, getting in front of the buyers who are looking for a source, and with follow-on meetings. So we have a meeting with Northrop actually, I think tomorrow. So that's a win, right? That's the success. Eventually, it's going to lead into a purchase order. But if it doesn't, it's still a success, because you made that contact, and it's one contact you didn't have, 2 minutes before receiving the email. So I think that's it. I mean, it's that good.
Well,
yeah,
Mike, yeah, thank you for that. Yes, you bring up a point that, Northrop reached out, and what I have found with these large companies is they'll let you know what they like and what you still need to work on. And so even if in your interview they came back and said, hey, we like everything about you, but you need this certification or you need that, at least right now you still have a contact that you can use and still connect with, but now moving forward what we need to do to improve, and then as soon as you get those certifications or whatever
right.
was needed, then you still have a contact to reach back
and
out.
it's not, and it's networking, right? And that's what we do. We network. And if this project that they're looking for, if that falls through, I still have the contact.
Yep.
And we're still networking. It doesn't hurt to drop them an email once in a while, or pay them a visit once in a while. You have that contact, and that is so powerful, because you might not be able to support them today, but tomorrow there might be something that you could support them with.
Yeah.
So it's all about making the connections.
Yeah, and every company's different. Like in working with Northrop and Lockheed and those, is you look at these large companies and you're like, oh well, now that I'm doing business with them, you're not doing business with 100% of that. There's different divisions, and some companies are better at sharing their suppliers than others, right? But that one contact can lead to other divisions, other opportunities, especially as they get in and start using CONNEX. So you're absolutely right. As you get in and build those relationships and those connections, you can get in. I know with Northrop, Jennifer, who is the small business liaison that we work with, she's got us in, companies, we'll get into tooling, and then she'll move more to machining as well for interviews. And so you just never know where it's going to end up. Bernice,
So
we have about, oh, sorry, Mike.
I know it's okay. I just see I've someone posted a question in the chat. What else would we like to have CONNEX help our business grow? And at the moment, I can't think of anything. I think the bases are covered. It gave us a platform to put our capabilities out there, build our profile, which is really important. We have other users who are in it, and at the moment, I think that's it. Maybe the only thing I can think of is thinking back when I first built our profile. We are part of our capabilities or our strengths is machining a particular alloy that's very difficult. And there's not a lot of people out in this in the world that likes to machine magnesium because of various reasons. We do that, and we do that well. So I got with Dave, because when I look at the drop-down menu on the materials that you can work with, magnesium wasn't listed. So I said, you know what, it should be, because that might be a key word that someone's looking for. So talked with Dave and the folks at CONNEX, and they said, you know, you're right. And they added it, right? They added it to the drop-down menu of the materials. So if there's something there that's not part of the template, by all means, reach out to CONNEX and say, look, you know, this is what we do. And I think it's really important that it could be added to it so you can reflect it in your profile. So I think it's just communication, because they're not going to know everything on what everybody in the world can do. So it's up to us to let them know what should be there, and they can tailor it around that.
And if I can jump in too, I just want to let everybody know that, you know, as the CONNEX program manager in Connecticut, I am available. I'm available to help show you how to use the Exchange Center, how to do searches, how to build your profile. We do have some handouts for that, but we can do one-on-one and Zoom calls or whatever we need to do in order to work with you on that. Our goal is for you guys to be successful as well. So, you know, and as Dave mentioned earlier, if it's like a gym membership, if you don't use it, if you don't go on to view the Exchange Center or build your profile, you know, you're not going to be connecting, you know, as well. So I think that brings us to almost the end. I don't know if Lauren would like to say a few words, or if there's anybody else. I don't believe there's any in the question and answer section that I haven't already answered. And you know, we can kind of take it from there. I'm available. Lauren was kind enough to put my contact information in the chat window. And I'm free to talk to anybody about today or any day about their profile and how to use the system to their advantage. Thanks.
One other thing too is I'm available. So if someone out there has a question and they want to talk to or have a question answered on behalf of like a supplier who is using the system, I'm more than happy to take a phone call or an email as well.
Yeah. Well, and I'm here to support and help Bernice and Mike, anybody in any way I can. That's my job. I just, you know, I tell everybody, think of us as part of your staff. Let us help you with whatever you need. But also know CONNEX it's a growing platform. We get stronger with every new quality supplier or company, that manufacturer that comes on. And so what you see today will be different from tomorrow as good quality companies come on, fill out their profile. The system just works even better. So let us know how we can help with any of your supply chain needs.